Welcome to the Doly Maker Edition assembly guide. In this video, we will walk through every step required to build your own 3D printed Doly robot from scratch. Please follow each section carefully, work slowly, and double-check your orientation and connections before continuing. Before we begin, gather all your parts, tools, and electronics. Remove everything from the package and confirm that all components are included. Next, open the bottom cover of the semi-assembled unit by removing the two screws. Take out the main PCB and the battery. Set aside the original bottom plastic cover with the power button. This part will be installed later in the process. Now we'll begin with your 3D printed components. Print all body parts according to the list in the GitHub folder. Once printing is complete, inspect every part for dimensional accuracy. Remove support material and lightly sand any rough spots, especially on edges where mechanical parts need to fit smoothly. Proper surface preparation now will ensure the assembly process is much easier later on. Before applying any glue, test fit the main structural parts. Make sure the servos and motors sit comfortably in their housings. If not, reprint the part or gently refine it with a hobby knife. Place the aligner on the top section as shown. Check that everything is aligned and then apply super glue onto the bottom of the head part. Press the pieces together and allow them to set for a few minutes. Next, align the bumper back section. Apply glue to the 3 designated contact points and secure it in place. Hold gently until the adhesive sets. Once cured, remove the aligner. You should now have a complete glued body frame. Insert the left servo, labeled L, into its housing. Push gently until it snaps securely into place. Repeat the same steps for the right servo. If you feel resistance, stop and check the print quality. Remove any leftover plastic before forcing the servo in. Now install the motors. Start with the right motor, labeled R. Place it inside its slot and secure it using the M 1.6 by 3 mm screws. Repeat this for the left motor. Ensure that both motors sit flush and do not wiggle inside the housing. Insert the two speakers into the head section, making sure the cables follow the correct orientation. If the printed holders feel too tight or too loose, lightly adjust the area using a hobby knife. If necessary, you may use a small amount of hot glue to secure the speakers in place. Remove the protective film from the adhesive foam piece. Align it carefully with the bottom center curve of the back bumper and press down to secure it. Correct alignment here ensures proper battery placement later. Insert the battery into its compartment. Make sure the battery cable exits on the right side, following the orientation shown. Open the black latch on the 24-pin FPC connector and insert the ribbon cable with the metal contacts facing down. Close the latch to lock it in place. Gently bend the cable upward to improve positioning. Place the I/O-PCB into its location and secure it using 4 screws. Do not over-tighten. Position the servo cover part and mount the fan onto it using the 2 screws provided. Route the fan cable through the opening on the side. Verify that the airflow direction matches the intended orientation before continuing. Route the fan cable through the shown hole to the other side. Insert the 2 hex spacers into the body housing. Route the servo cables through the hole to the other side. Place the prepared servo cover onto the frame and secure it using 2 screws. Again, avoid over-tightening. Insert the two IR filters into their housings. Place the bumper PCB into position and secure it using the single washer head screw. Ensure everything sits flat and centered. Begin by preparing the head PCB. Open the latch on the 45-pin connector, insert the ribbon cable with contacts facing down, and close the latch. Repeat this for the 12-pin cable. Before positioning the module, plug in both speaker cables. Gently press on the touch contacts at the top side of the part. Insert the module starting from the top and working toward the bottom. After proper installation, the module should look as shown. Next, connect the 12-pin FPC cable between the head PCB and the bumper PCB. Tweezers can make this easier. Now attach the front bumper to the head module. Start from the top, align everything carefully, and work your way down. Once aligned, secure both sides with M2 by 4mm screws. Confirm that your Raspberry Pi Compute Module 4 is installed on the main PCB. Now connect all cables one by one. Connect the battery cable. Please note that the cables can only be plugged in one direction. If they don't go in easily, do not force them. Rotate the connector 180 degrees and try again. Plug the left and right servo sockets into their proper connectors. Connect the left and right servo cables. Connect the fan cable. Place the main PCB as shown. Don't forget to route I/O cable to the other side. Ensure that the board is fitting properly. If needed, adjust the battery cable with your finger. While inserting the ribbon cables into the FPC connectors, make sure the cable is fully seated at the end of the connector before locking the latch. Connect the I/O cable. Connect all ribbon cables as shown. Connect both arms' ribbon cables. To ensure the arms work properly, make sure the ribbon cables follow the same path as shown. We strongly recommend using the injection molded bottom cover with the power button. CPU heat can make 3D printed bottom covers warp. Once all connections are secured, place the main board into its slot and close the bottom cover. Ensure no cable is pinched or sharply bent. Push the front wheels onto the motor shafts. Next, push the steel caps onto the rear printed shafts. Install the rear wheels over these caps. Before closing each side cover, confirm that the FPC cables are properly routed through the openings and are not twisted. Install the one side cover first, then the other, securing both with screws. Connect the FPC cable coming from each servo to its matching arm PCB. Remove the temporary screw from the servo shaft. Do not remove the shaft itself. Align the printed arm with the shaft and secure it using the long screw. Position the arm PCB into its cavity carefully, making sure the FPC cable remains fully seated. Close the arm using its cover and secure with screws. Finally, snap the printed hands onto the arms. If the fit is loose due to print tolerances, apply a very small amount of superglue. Repeat the same steps for the second arm. Run a basic arm movement test and observe if both arms move smoothly from end to end. If you notice stiffness or irregular movement, recheck the arm assembly steps. Snap the I/O cover into place as shown. Install the tracks on both sides of the robot. Perform a complete visual check to confirm that all cables, screws, and assemblies look correct. Your Doly Maker Edition is now fully assembled. Thank you for following this guide. Enjoy your new robot and feel free to explore upgrades, customizations, and new modules from the Doly community.